Gotta love sports.
Welcome to the Shot Clock, where we're talking sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and we're 100% digital, 100% live, and 100% real. Let's count them down. Welcome to the Shot Clock. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat. This is our digital sports show. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. It's going to be a show, okay? And a mentally, emotionally draining show. If you have any comments, especially today, I need you to comment. I want to know what you think, okay? I'm inviting my friend Terrell Thomas, senior sports and entertainment editor for these Urban Times. Welcome, T. And you are on mute. That's the kind of show we're going to have.
Good afternoon. Good
afternoon. We're putting ourselves on a shot clock because we need to get through a lot. So the Sixers, our season is over. Painful. Just painful to watch this end the way that it did after we had an amazing, incredible regular season. We were number one in the East for the majority of the season. And then to go and then get eliminated in the conference semifinals. The Sixers lost to the Hawks last night, game 7, 103-96. Just heartbreaking. I never saw this coming. I mean, I initially said Sixers in 6. And then I adjusted, okay, 6ers and 7. And I believed that. You know, I believed that we were going to the Eastern Conference Final to face the Bucks, which is the matchup we've been asking for weeks. We're like, we don't want to play the Nets. The Nets have too many moving pieces. We can play the Bucks and have a game. To not even make it. Terrell, what went wrong?
You know, this morning I'm sitting here honestly, and I'm still in shock. And I know we spoke a few weeks ago, being as though I'm in Atlanta and cover the Hawks, and you know, I was saying we got to watch out for this Hawks team. You know, they're dangerous, but deep inside, it was still for me. I was saying Sixers and 6 or 7. If the Hawks found a way to win, it would be 7, but I didn't see it. And, you know, I tip my hat to the Hawks because they did move on. But I've said it multiple times this morning on social media. And I truly do believe it in my heart. Although I'm truly happy for the Hawks organization today, I also feel like that series says so much more about the Sixers than it did the Hawks. And we could point so many different places, you know, Doc Rivers, Ben Simmons, who, you know, and I think we're slightly overlooking some of the player Tobias Harris. It's just so many things went wrong for the Sixers in this series that I just did not see. I did not see. And as you mentioned, things just seem to shape up so well for the Sixers outside of their series, with the Nets losing, getting the matchup of the Milwaukee Bucks. I knew all day yesterday. I'm like, you know, I don't want to get too high or too up, but I think the Sixers are going to advance. I thought that once they won game 6, that they unlocked something. And I was still foolish, I guess, because I was still expecting that when the chips were on the table that Ben Simmons was going to show more. So, you know, once again, I tip my hat to the Hawks. I truly do. But I'm still in shock because I don't feel like the Hawks defeated the Sixers. I feel like the Sixers defeated themselves. And I think that's a tougher pill to swallow for a lot of Sixer fans this afternoon.
You are in my head. Every game that we lost, I didn't feel like the Hawks beat us. I felt like we lost. You know, we made stupid mistakes, turnovers, missed opportunities. Dumb basketball. Dumb. You cannot win a championship not playing smart basketball. And I really was hoping that our guys would rise to the occasion. Our guys did not rise, you know, and that's really the most heartbreaking part. For me, what went wrong, our most experienced players did not step up. And when we are going to Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, you know, Thibault, when we're going to our backup players to make things happen, there's something going on with the starting 5, you know. Joel was hurt. That was a huge blow. However, the man played 41 minutes. He was scoring 30 points on a torn meniscus. You can't blame him. People have to step up, and that's what happened. People did not step up. Facts. Thank you, Cooley Cool. They did not step up. I did not see a hunger. Where is the hunger to win? Where is it? Do you want this? You gotta bleed for it. You gotta be on the floor for it. You gotta dive. You know where there was no hunger. The kids were, and no disrespect because he's a 20-year-old man, but Tyrese Maxey had this hunger that I did not see in anyone else. He's 20 years old. He can't even drink. Why is he hungrier than Ben Simmons? Why is he hungrier? I love Tobias, but he got lost. He got lost in some of these games. Y'all need to want this. I want to tip my hat off to Seth Curry. Seth Curry stepped up, but he can't be the only one. And you already know how I feel about Danny Green, so we can skip that part, okay? Joel Embiid immediately after this just gut-wrenching, painful loss on Father's Day, I literally was sitting with my father figures. My dad passed away when I was a kid, but he's rolling over in his grave because I'm sitting with my father figures Father's Day. We're Sixers fans. We've been Sixers fans since I was a kid. I think I loved Allen Iverson because my cousin was such a Allen Iverson groupie. We're sitting here ready for this next level and this heartbreaking loss on Father's Day amongst my father figures. It was just too much. Here's what Joel had to say immediately after the loss on Instagram. Philly, I love you. We love you too. I am sorry to disappoint you again. But just know that I gave everything I had knowing the circumstances. If there's one thing I've learned being here, it's the toughness this city has. And that's why I play with a torn meniscus. Thank you for the support all year long. I will always appreciate y'all. I don't want to hear no Joel slander. You can't take us to the Eastern Conference Finals alone, Joel. So we appreciate you being apologetic, but you tried. You got to go to work. He was missing. He wasn't attacking the rim the way that he needed to. He was taking easy shots. He's hurt.
Yeah, he couldn't move.
Take the 3-pointer.
He couldn't move like that.
He's gonna take the lazy 3-pointer. He's gonna try to and then do a fadeaway. I mean, he's not moving the way we want to see him move.
It's not on Joel Embiid this morning or this afternoon, rather. It's not on Joel Embiid at all. And I've heard a few people pointing at Embiid, and I heard him man up yesterday, and he admitted to a few of the turnovers in which he had, because some of those turnovers were unacceptable. And we use the slogan in sports: if you're available and you're on the court, you're on the court. But you still gotta tip your hat and realize, like you said, the man was out on that torn meniscus, so he couldn't elevate the way he wanted to. He couldn't bend his knees, at the foul line in critical moments to make some of those shots. And he puts the city on his back. I respect the fact that win, lose, or draw, he stands up for Philadelphia. So yeah, Joel Embiid will always be good in my book.
So we will get to Ben, Sean, because Sean is on one about Ben.
I mean, he needs to be mentioned. He cannot be let off the hook. He needs to be mentioned this morning.
We will not, okay? But before we get to Ben, okay, I want to focus on our next season. So that's when the Ben conversation comes in. Because what does next season look like? What are the changes we need to see? How do we handle Ben? So overall, I have players that I want to keep, and I have players that I need to ship out. What are your thoughts, Terrell, on how we move forward for next season with the players that we currently have?
It's really messed up in my opinion, and I hate to be this guy on a Monday afternoon, but as Sixer fans, or as Sixer Nation, we people may have to they may have to kind of stomach the fact that the Sixers, I don't want to say a rebuild when you have a player, a pillar like a Joel Embiid, but this whole entire team or franchise is going to look different if you get rid of Ben Simmons, because in order to get rid of Ben Simmons at this point, you do have to get rid of someone who was in your picture for the future. A gentleman that you mentioned several times already, like a Tyrese Maxey or, future picks down the line. So this team, Dwight Howard will be a free agent. Mike Scott, we didn't see a lot of time with him, but he'll be a free agent. This team will look very different next season. So, it's shaky because earlier in the season, folks were saying, trade Ben Simmons for James Harden, and the organization was hesitant to do that, as we've seen, to pull the trigger because they didn't want to get rid of Maxey and other things that would have needed to be involved. We heard some rumbling about possibly trading for either Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum, one of the two guards in Portland, trading Ben Simmons for one of those gentlemen. But it just seems like NBA execs watched the same games that we watched yesterday, or the same games really that we've watched this entire series. So it really
might not even want Ben.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on like what does a GM decide. Like, do I even want this guy, around? So it's so many questions with the Sixers right now that we just did not see this time last week.
Absolutely. I think for me though, it's clear who I want to keep. I want to keep Joel. I want to keep Seth Curry. I want to keep Tobias Harris. I want to keep Tyrese Maxey. I want to keep Matisse Thybulle. But I don't want to keep Mike Scott can go. Danny Green can go. Some of these other players are interchangeable. Ben Simmons, and you know how I've been defending Ben Simmons, right? Ben needs to go. Ben needs to go. We cannot have our point guard being the reason why we lose. And I don't want to put it all on Ben because, but you are the leader of the team, and they couldn't even trust you to be out there in the final minutes of the game.
Yeah,
you're the second in command. If the first in command is down, you need to take the reins. That's why you got a president and a vice president. That's why you got the first in command and second in command. It's called hierarchy. Your second in command needs to step up. And I appreciate Ben, and I know he's an awesome player. But two people said this to me, and I didn't listen to it, and it plays over in my head. They said, Ben Simmons is going to be a reason why you guys don't advance this season. And I was like, all right, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. The man can't shoot. It's cool. He'll help in other ways. But when you're talking about championship level, everybody needs to show up and have the hunger. And I just didn't see it from Ben. I don't know if he has it. Do you have it?
Yeah, I don't know if he has it at this point either, and that's.
And I want him to have it, but then you will see something like this happen in crucial minutes of the game. Let's watch him make a very stupid basketball decision during very crucial last moments of last night's loss to the Hawks.
Cleared out for him. Tapping his way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And a foul as Thybulle goes to the basket. Boy, Simmons, uncontested, had a layup, but he leaves it for Thybulle, who makes something out of it and is headed to the line.
Well, but that's when you know that the game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there.
That right there.
Yeah, that's tough to watch. It's tough to watch.
And we needed these 2 points, not the 1 point that Thybulle got. We needed a definitive 2. You go up with conviction, you get the foul. Come on, Ben. And look, I like Ben so much. I like him so much. But I don't know how we win with that. I don't. And it's funny because another reporter had the same thought. And his question was, can Ben Simmons be a point guard for a championship team? And this is what Doc Rivers had to say about that one.
Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
When the coach doesn't know, we don't know either.
Tough.
And you cannot get to a championship with uncertainty in your players. You need your players to show up during the big moments, and he did not show up. And this is the most frustrating part. I saw this video yesterday, T, and I lost it. It's not like he can't shoot. Watch this.
Fighter, that's my range for the championship. I do anything. I would trade my own mama like Danny Ainge. Call me Barbera, I bury him. You got the drip, I got the whole aquarium. Okay, so what you first team All-American? Boy, I'm a GOAT. There's no comparison. I surgically cut up cesarean.
I mean, what?
It's a big difference when somebody, you know, when these guys are doing this open gym run or shooting pregame, and then when the heat is on and you need to take a shot.
But it just shows you mentally what kind of player he is. Instead of taking the shot, he'll pass the ball. When you're our second in command, when our first in command is hurt, you need to step up and put points up, you know. And then in third in command is Tobias. Tobias ain't getting the heat today because we're so focused on Ben because he's a second in command. You know, they say heavy is the crown of the person who wears it. You're the all-star. Your crown is heavy. Your
crown is heavy if you're calling yourself the Fresh Prince in a city like Philly. So you can't, what he did this entire series has been ridiculous. It's a shame. It's a shame for Sixer fans. I think that moment was even for sports fans in general. This guy was once, mentioned in with the likes of Magic Johnson and LeBron James as Ben Simmons possibly being, this generational talent. And 5 years in, we still haven't seen it. It's very disappointing.
I want Ben to work because I'm scared of the alternative, right? The fact that we would have to rebuild the whole team again. We've been talking about trust the process for like 35 years. The process needs to be done. Okay? I can't be trusting the process anymore. The process needs to be done. Then people started making jokes. I don't like that. If you ever feel useless, remember that Ben Simmons wears a shooting sleeve.
Yeah, folks were cruel last night. Folks were real cruel last night on social media.
So I don't know how they move forward. I think we're all very emotional, but I've never had the thought that Ben needs to go, and I had that thought last night, and I'm being very transparent about it right now. I think that Doc Rivers has to do a lot of work on him, and he needs to be in the gym today. He doesn't get days off.
Yeah.
And I think that if we don't see an immediate change, Doc, in the off season, we got to ship him out. Ben got to be in summer camp. I don't care. Ben got to be in summer camp showing us that he could put up these shots and he could elevate his game and be a threat in the fourth quarter when we need him the most. We're spending too much time on this. Whew, my blood pressure is high. We almost ran out of time. Doc Rivers as a coach, real quickly. What are we giving him? I want to give him a grade because I feel like he had just questionable substitutions. I understand why he started Cork Miles, but I don't think Cork Miles was the start. It should have been Thibault or Tyrese. I'm a Tyrese fan, and I just question sometimes when he would take the starters off of the field and then when he would put them back in. I would give him a B+. I think there's room for improvements. I wouldn't ship Doc Rivers out because I seen y'all talking about that too. But what do you think of his coaching this playoff?
Yeah, I'm probably the wrong guy on a Monday morning to speak on like Doc Rivers and his coaching. I've never ever been a fan of his coaching style ever. I've never been a Doc Rivers fan. I've been critical of Doc Rivers for so many years. I respect the IQ. I respect the talent that he had as a point guard in the NBA. But just as a coach, outside of having Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, he hasn't got it done. And right now, he's currently now 6-9 in game sevens. I mean, that's horrible for a guy if you're looking at calling him a Hall of Fame coach or a Hall of Fame mind. So I mean, I have heard some cats, being very critical. Like, I'm not calling him Doc anymore. It's just Glenn Rivers. He's not the doctor of anything. And I think I do honestly, I think the Sixers need to take a real heavy look at that though, because Doc hasn't won anything in years. And if the goal is to bring a championship to Philadelphia under all these circumstances, it might have just been a trial and error, admit it early and move on and get some young blood in there with cats like Sam Cassell, who's around, or cats like Chauncey Billups. Get some younger talent who can really motivate these guys, because Doc had a horrible series in my opinion. I'd give him an F. It just he made no adjustment.
And Sean Sams is saying the same. He gets an A when he has 3 Hall of Famers, an F.
I give him an F because he didn't make, once again, like I see these Hawks every day. So I knew that they were a tough out. I said it here several times, but the Sixers still, when you just break it down, they should have had the 2 best players in the series, and Embiid and Simmons. Then I would have rated Trae Young under Simmons just based off of the experience alone too, and what Simmons has.
Right.
Doc made no adjustments throughout this series. Nate McMillan outcoached him every single game. So, I'm
not ready to ship him out. I'm not ready to ship him out. It's just the thought of uprooting Ben and Doc. I mean, we're going to be trusting the process again. I can't go back to trust the process. I cannot go back to a rebuild. It's unacceptable. Not when we were number 1 regular season in the East. Someone got to go to coaching camp. Ben got to go to shooting camp. I need people to put in the work. So if we're going to lose anyone, I think Ben is a casualty that at this point, if we're trying to get to the championship, I'm okay with. People have been throwing around names like bringing, Damian Lillard in. People be tweeting me all throughout the games. So shout out to John Collin. He wants Damian Lillard. Conversation has been had about Bradley Beal. I'm not opposed to that now. I feel a type of ways about Ben right now. It's very raw. So we'll see how I feel later on, but I'm just not prepared to completely uproot our team and get rid of Doc and Ben. I think Doc deserves another chance. And maybe he's going to learn from these mistakes that he made when he watches back film or whatever and kind of dissects it. But next season is very scary. We're so off time. Let's get to a quick commercial from one of our sponsors.
We've seen how far this game can go, so we take it and run.
Making moves like nobody.
For everybody.
We don't move within the lines.
We move beyond them. Hennessy, the spirit of the NBA.
All right, let's breeze through what's going on here on the Shot Clock. It's our digital sports show. Mina SayWhat, really emotional today. A lot going on. I still wore my little 76ers shirt.
I'm not mad at that. I ain't mad at that.
I'm trying. So let's get into Shoot Your Shot. We haven't done this in a while because we've been in playoff mode, but there is a big thing going on where we talk about the love lives of the players. Lala Anthony, big news last week, filed for divorce. 11 years of marriage. She's been married to Carmelo Anthony. They've been on and off since 2017. Rumors are that he has fathered a set of twins that are now living in London with the mother. And these twins were born prematurely. So one of them needs a lot of medical attention. This woman, who is anonymous at this point, has said that because of what he's going through with Lala, he has not been present for the child in London, even though he has told her that he's going to be there. So I heard he's dealing with another woman in Philly too. I don't know if these are the same women. Maybe they're 2 different women. I mean, this is a mess, T.
It's unfortunate I feel like whenever we find out about, folks' private, public love affairs and situations, it's the same. My prayers are with both Carmelo and Lala Anthony as they go. This is a tough time for any people. They got a teenage son and things of that nature. When you hear all the different rumors and things, I'm not one to really buy into the rumors too much, but when they're there, they cause problems. So tough news for them. But I hope they find a way to resolve their issues as best they can, because they'll still have to co-parent whether they get a divorce or not. So my heart goes out to the Anthony family.
Absolutely. And if these are his kids, and he fathered these twins, he's going to have to be there for them, so there's that part of it. They've been on and off. So this is not a surprise. When you're on and off with someone, that person's going to go and, I mean, even though they're married, so he shouldn't go because they're married, but you know how things are. Shifting really quickly to the Tokyo Olympics. Team USA basketball has kind of been confirmed. There's rumors that Damian Lillard, again, we're talking about Damian, is going to be on the team. Bradley Beal is going to be on the team. Draymond Green, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Okay. But I really want to focus in right now on Team USA track and field, because social media was on fire this weekend during trials. A woman named Sha'Carri Richardson just lit it all up and showed out. Watch this.
To give respect to the magnitude of this event. Sha'Carri Richardson with that bright orange hair. She wasn't the first out of the blocks. On the inside, Tiana Daniels got a good start, but this is where Richardson winds up and eases back. She points to the time, 10:65. How about that? Eclipses her 10:72.
It's windated, but she started pointing at the clock 30 meters before.
She ain't playing with y'all. She said my nail is 5 inches long and it's going to help me get there faster. She ran 10:64 in her 100-meter semifinal.
Amazing.
And that hair, those lashes, girl, them lashes, what kind of glue are you using? She is moving fast and them lashes was in there, okay? My lash would have been out here. It would have flew off. She moving fast. That's some powerful lash glue she got on. But look, we will be watching her do amazing things. The Olympics in Tokyo, which start this Wednesday. What are your thoughts on that, T?
Yeah, that was amazing to see. You know, you hear a lot the slogan, Black Girl Magic. And she looked amazing, like just watching her hair flow as she was taking the command to lead. And for the opportunity to represent your country on a stage like the Olympics, that was amazing to see. Very, very dope. Very dope.
Absolutely. As we wrap up, let's look at the remaining plays this week. Our Sixers, their season is done. But we still got lots of basketball to play. The Hawks are playing the Bucks. Suns and Clippers. The Suns are already up 1 in that series. What do you think the finals is going to look like, T?
I'm thinking we're going to see a Suns. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna just go ahead and just why not? I'm gonna just say the Suns and the Hawks. Why not?
I knew you were gonna go there.
Why not? I mean, they've impressed me to this point.
Listen, we already got a wound, and you gonna add salt to the wound and have them go to the finals?
I mean, I'd rather lose. If I was a Sixer fan, I'd rather say that I lost to the NBA champion than to say that I lost to the 5th seed who just eventually went on and got swept by the Bucks or something like that. That's what I would like to see. But I do think the Hawks match up against the same way I felt about the Sixers. Like, and I just personally don't think the Bucks have as much scoring talent as I thought the Sixers would have. They have Giannis, and we know he's only one-dimensional for real. And Chris Middleton is one-dimensional too. He's just a shooter. I think the Hawks can beat the Bucks, and I really, really do. So I'm gonna go with the Suns and the Hawks in the finals. And we'll see what happens from there.
We never want to say we lost. Okay, I don't care if it's to the NBA champions. This is a losing mentality you have, Terrell, and I will not accept it. Okay, no. Losing is not acceptable. It don't matter if you lost to the champions or not. This is not cool. This is the problem. We got to believe in ourselves. There's
nothing to believe in right now.
Acceptable. I think we're gonna see a Suns and Bucks, and I think the Suns might take this one. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Who do you have winning? Actually,
I don't think it depends on if Chris Paul came back. If Chris Paul would come back, I can see the Suns beating the Hawks. As presently constructed, I think the Hawks can beat any of these teams that are left. I think they can beat the Clippers without Kawhi. I think they can beat this Bucks team, and I think they can beat the Suns without Chris Paul.
Wow. All right, Terrell, I need you off this show now. Terrell Thomas, Senior Sports Entertainment Editor for These Urban Times. Thank you for joining us.
Much love.
Thank you to everyone watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm Mina SayWhat. A little annoyed today, but we will get through it, okay? Thank you for watching. It's our digital sports show, The Shot Clock.
Yeah!
Thanks for watching The Shot Clock. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and you got something you want to talk about next week? You can always hit me up on social media at Mina SayWhat. And make sure you join us 12 o'clock next Monday on R&B Philly's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you then.